Today, we're going to talk about an Egyptian pharaoh who was truly one of a kind and unprecedented, Akhenaten. You might not recognize his name, but I'm sure you've heard of his son, Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun is mainly famous for his golden mask, but Akhenaten's life story and background are infinitely more legendary than his son's. First, just look at him. Akhenaten's appearance was incredibly bizarre. An extra long face, almond-shaped eyes, and very distinct facial contours. A lot of people's first thought is that he looks exactly like an alien. Scientists were even more shocked after analyzing his DNA, suggesting he might genuinely have a connection to extraterrestrials. More on that later. If you look at his statues, not only was his face unusual, but his body was strange too. He had a noticeable potbelly and big, swollen, disproportionate legs. He looked a bit like an overweight middle-aged woman. This is super weird. Why would a pharaoh allow himself to be carved so unappealingly? Why wouldn't he just ask for a little touch-up? This points to Akhenaten's unique and progressive view on aesthetics. He believed that realism was the most beautiful thing. While other pharaohs had themselves depicted as strong, imposing, and handsome, he told the sculptors to create him exactly as he was, flaws and all. If it was real, it was beautiful. This essentially means that the world's first realist artist was born over 3,800 years ago. Besides his alien-like face and somewhat feminine body, the strangest thing was his massive head. Scientists estimate his brain capacity might have been double that of an average person. This is why many experts speculate that this large brain allowed Akhenaten to do so many incredible things, like his revolutionary, realist art style. He's also a highly controversial figure in Egyptian history. Later Egyptian clergy tried to completely erase him from existence, wishing he had never been born. The priests at the time even put a curse on him, hoping none of his children would live past 18. You see, Egyptian mythology was originally polytheistic. They worshipped many gods. But Akhenaten initiated a total religious overhaul. He declared they would now only worship one god, the Aten. This wasn't a small deal. This move essentially established monotheism in the world. Many experts suspect that monotheistic religions like Christianity and Islam were influenced by Akhenaten. Some even believe Moses from the Bible was Akhenaten's actual brother. Why the sudden reform? Most scholars believe that the priests who served the gods had gained too much power and status. These priests were constantly demanding money and land from the pharaohs, and even wanted a share of the pharaoh's political authority. So Akhenaten simply created his own sun religion. He became the god's sole messenger, meaning priests were no longer needed. This move severely undermined the priest's power. That's why the priest cursed him, wishing his children wouldn't live past 18. Did the curse work? That's still up for debate. Akhenaten's son, Tutankhamun, did die young, but he was 19, which is 1 year older than the curse. And when he died, he left no heir. Akhenaten's mysterious nature made many scientists eager to find and study him. Eventually, his tomb was discovered. Media outlets reported early on that Professor Stewart from a Swiss university published a report in 2008. They spent 7 years extracting DNA from 9 royal Egyptian mummies. Most of the DNA was relatively normal. I say relatively because the Egyptian royalty practiced a lot of inbreeding to keep their bloodline pure. Marriage between siblings was common, and some pharaohs even married their own daughters. It was an astonishing level of madness. The effects of this incest were clearly visible in the DNA, which makes Akhenaten's feminine physique easier to understand. However, the scientists found one significant difference between Akhenaten and the other 8 mummies. His DNA contained a gene called CXPAC5, which is linked to human brain creativity. This image shows a DNA sample comparison between a normal person and Akhenaten. Akhenaten's is on the left, a normal person's is on the right, and you can see a clear difference. This immediately brings up the whole urban legend about humans possibly being the product of alien genetic engineering. So, was Akhenaten intentionally modified by aliens? How else could the Egyptians build the magnificent pyramids? Did aliens truly enhance the minds of a select few, giving them superior creativity? Why would a god or alien choose Akhenaten? The more imaginative theories suggest that maybe the god Aten was actually a minor, unremarkable deity who altered Akhenaten's genes, turning the pharaoh into his puppet. This way, the pharaoh would transfer all of Egypt's worship to him alone.